Ah, enough music. Welcome to, how did we name that? ISK and how to make ISK from small to big. I prepared myself a little bit and I will show you. Oh, I thought it got bigger. Damn it. This is so small. Luckily, we can zoom in. So, you probably know this big one thingy from Altru, which is from 2016, and still there is tons of information on it. Let me sort that out. I need that one, and I probably should mute myself on the Discord so you can hear me on the thingy. So, you have PvE, wormholes, exploration, raiding, incursions, missions. Then you have the PvP part, which is like collecting loot. You have alliance managing. You have the market. You have the production. You have the hauling, the extraction, and you have the community stuff. And this is a lot. And what we do try today is we try to fix that, all of that stuff into somehow these charts. And I have the feeling that the charts are too small, but luckily we can just make them bigger. So we would say we move this to the side and we move PvE to the side and also active to the side. And the first thing what we look into is passive. Let's make that bigger. Damn, I don't have enough space here. Wait. Oh, no, that's not everything. Oops. We just go down here. So, passive income. That's usually stuff you touch one time and you don't do that. I would assume passive income is PI. So we can also just copy that and dial it down. How do we manage PI? Of course, PI has, I would say it's low investment with a low reward, but of course we can have one of these thingies here. And then it comes like this. If you start with P0, extracting from a planet, and you're doing what is it? P4, for example, then you have, no, wait, that's not right. You are like this here. You have a low investment and a low reward. But if you go and you do the same thing and you buy stuff, for example, then you have a high investment, low reward. What doesn't mean high investment? If you want to run one planet, one single planet with P4 from P3, for example, you investing like 500 million on P3 to have like 2 or 3 days running off P4. Don't pinpoint me on the numbers, but you get the idea is if you start from scratch and you go the roll direction to P4. So let's write that down. This is P0. And then we have that here on the top. It's P0 to P4. No, wait. P3 to P4, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. And if you're on below here and you go from P0 to P4, you have the max reward. That's PI. How you do and step in the middle and how madness it is to make the clickery true and everything and promise CCP for the fucking templates. I love it. It makes much, much less sense. But this is passive PI. What else is passive? We could say Merc Dance, for example, they are passive to a certain degree. There are some missions in it. Investment, same. I would say it's something like here. And I know that you get out of this one, if you run it for 1 month, it is like, let me copy another one of these. Should be going like this. And I know that in the end of the month, so if you run it for 1 month, you get 1 Sino or you get 3 Poloses. Polos. Write it down. Dear God, Lord, help me. So, Tritolysis for 1 month. It's your reward. You invest 25 million for this Merc then. And you need to run MTOs, otherwise you get Anishi, and then the Brave Postboys comes and they clutch you on your fingers because you remove all the anoms. If you run them on enemy space, I don't care how much Anishi they have, but that's the Mercden stuff. Easy peasy. The stream is recorded, no worries. You can rewatch it later. Let's see what else do we have on passive income. Cosmos sites, burner missions, it's all active. Rating is officer, rating. Eve partner. Kind of. Depending on how you do your stuff, you get a little bit of blacks and some skins, but I would assume this is thingy. Gamble. Yeah, we could also put gamble into passive because you not actually really do something. And the idea is that, of course, as more you invest, as more reward you get. So you could like put it also on bottom of here and you have the same thing. If you gamble for a Titan and you get it, whoa, you have low investment, but you get a high reward. If you don't get it, you don't get it. That's gambling. So we put that passive. What else do we have? Of course, research, invention, production, and this one, I would also consider these in their natural stuff as passive. I mean, they have the hauling, you need to have the structure and stuff like that. Let's take that for granted. So then again, I would put all 3 of them, depending on what you want to do, into this direction. Production as well, if we take this, is also low. If you produce shuttles, it's cheap. They cost like 10k in production. You can sell them in ULX for 25, and a lot of people are using production. Same thing and going up. They're going expensive. For example, you building a Titan. Haha! Titan, you get it. It's super. Lot of money, lot of stuff you need to do in front. There's also like a lot of investment. So this stuff goes up. It's not a straight line, it goes up. Research is like, depends on the blueprint, but I would put it down to the gamble setting because you have a low investment, you have your blueprint. It's also not true. You can also have like very expensive blueprint. Let's put it into the middle here, or that's something like here. So depending on what you do is, if you have a cheap blueprint and you research it, then you can have copies out of that and can sell the copies. So for my assumption, I would also take this as well. I would create this one and I would say it's a straight line. With like, wait, I can make, how was it? It was this here, I think, like something like this. Yeah, you can have expensive one, not expensive ones. Like it. Invention, same thingy. You take a normal blueprint and you make it to a T2 blueprint, which then you can a blueprint to a blueprint copy. And also here, it's again this thing. There is like investment could be like down here and like this. So we group that up and we take another one of these. And we are cool. We take that one here and we take this one here. So you get an idea that this one is for research and invention and stuff like that. And then I would say you get the idea of as more you invest, as more reward comes out. And this depending on how much you put in here on this side, as more you get here and what else you do. Of course, that's for the passive one. You first do research, then you do production, or you do first research, then you do invention, then you do production. In kind of this order. That's the passive stuff. Let's see what else we have, which we can have passive. That's this thingy which we don't need. We can remove that. Loot Goblin is active style. Dojo stuff is active style. Brave is active style. Gas huffing, you do active, incursion, officer farming. Scamming is like also active. Doesn't matter. Okay, I would say if there are... Yeah, there's a skill investment, of course. Like for everything you want to do here, you also need to have skills. Let me shortly open up Kane. And Kane, let's show how awesome your skills are. It's science. So if you want to do anything to doing with like researching and stuff like that, it's something like this. And the advanced knowledge of mineral composition bonus to material essential research speed per level. So that's how you update the thingy. I can also open you a blueprint. Let's get for a shuttle. Let's take the Amar shuttle. We only do this deep dive for a short second and then we go out again because this is actually like should be an own class. View in industry. And then you see here that you can put points into that. So this would take 60 days and I get, this is time efficiency research. So it's 20% faster. You can do the same with material. Then you get 10% material reduction, means you can produce it cheaper. If you have structures with the bonus on it and stuff like that, it gets much cheaper, but that's the idea of it. So we need to, oh God, wait, it's back. So this is about this. You need the skills for that. Merc Dance also have the skills. PI also have the skills. If you do P0 production, it has more skills. If you do factory, for example, it has less skills. So only 2. And P0 with the extraction, you want to know where the hotspots are on the planet. Then you need to have, I mean, I can also show you this in a short second. But then we stop that because honestly, it's PI. So you go on your planetary introduction. I show you my wonderful P3 to P4, which the G matrix is running out. Here's less. And what you can do is this, you do a scan, you do this, and then you say you want to have outrope FOSS, and you go, wait, this was this one. And as better your skills are, as better you can see these red hotspots. You see a lot of red hotspots. And we want to find the one juicy red hotspot, which looks like this one here probably. And then you put all your extraction thingies here. And the skills what you want to have here is in planet management. And I think it's skill of further data, blah, 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 scanning. So it's this one and this one. And remote sensing allows you to do that further away if you want to find planets. And as more people are on this planet, as more people will suck out of this point. So with time comes this and then it goes. And this is PI. Honestly, PI. So let me take this whole chunk away because now we are done with passive. There are probably other passive stuff you can do, like doing investments into people and stuff like that, and then get a revenue about that. Don't do a Ponzi scheme, that's a scamming. And let's hook into PvE. Oh God, what's that? Let's make that much, much bigger. So, PvE stuff. Oh yeah, I'd never done the RD agents for high sec with the farming. That's a good point. Let me write that down. I mean, there was also stuff which you just trade for them and then you get the cores back and stuff like that. Honestly, I never done that. That's why I'm not covering that. But cover this later or in the future. Good point. We put that just in the middle so I don't miss it. So now we do a little bit PvE stuff. Let's grab all the PvE stuff. That is, this here is all PvE stuff. And this one is PvE stuff. And this one is PvE stuff. Oh God, there's a lot of PvE stuff. This is PvE stuff. I would say Explo is active. We had active, or maybe to put this later in active. Then we have mining, which we tool out. This is also something. We can also do this one. Freelancer, this is PvE. That was PvP. That's also PvP. Gate Camp, Explo. No, wait. This is trucks. Trucks. I mean, we could also add trucks into the passive one because that goes hand in hand with production, but also with mining. So let's copy that out again. I need this and this. Copy this here. And now we do this one. So, that's a lot. Let's sort it a little bit different to the side. Okay, also. Officer Farm, boah, let's put like some price tags here, otherwise I get like screaming investment. So we do like 500 million, like here. Then we do, let's do 5 billion in the middle. And 50 billion, maybe something like that. So Officer Farm, depending on what you're doing, I would say it's somewhere here. And the reward is here. The thing what is the problem here is time investment, because these things are rare. So what we write down is time intensive. So that's the like super hard. Cosmosites, yeah, 500 mil. And I would also say they are like something like here. Let's say on the reward page, this is 50. This is 5. And we make the corner here on the bottom like 500 mil. And then we have it. Cosmosites, you can run them 1 time per day. We have one in Catch, for example, which drops a 10 billion implant, for example. You can only run it once. Usually you need to have a key or something to enter to this. Blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Burner missions and missions in general. Guys, depending on what you run, this is usually like somewhere here. No, wait, it's somewhere here. Depending on how much money you get back, it's less than 500, you get back LP. Same with the missions. People run that stuff in level 4, for example. You can do in a golem in high sec. I know also people run that stuff in carriers in low sec. So that one, for example, would definitely one of these, which is like. So this one is for the missions. That could be something like this. Oh wait, this is wrong. It's wait, we need to make it something like this. So you go up and then you are somewhere around this one with the LP and stuff like that, but not with 5 billion. Burner missions is the same stuff. You have your setup with like 3 people or however you do that. Yeah, belts. Attack sites is, we do attack sites in a second. I will show you that. The SB Proteus is somewhere here. That's the entrance in Smart Bomb Rating. You do the low level sites, so like it's here the anoms of level 5. Let me open that again. Eve Uni. Oh, Eve University, Combat Anomalies. I think it's Forsaken Dance and stuff like that, which you can run in a single ship. And then above them, you have your Thunder Child, which you need like 4. I would say it's something like here. You have the Smart Bomb Rating, which is also some, depending on how you do it, it's also 5 bill, 6 bill. And you do, I think it's 100 mil in an hour with 1 toon. Also 20 million per toon, per tick. You get 5 ticks, so 500 million. So you can put them here. And they create so-called escalations, which you can then run these DAD sites, which again you run into a ship like, yeah, like something like here, I would say. So they create DAD sites, escalations, and called like that, which then can you have like the capital escalations and the attack sites, for example, which there's one version which gives you a guaranteed faction spawn, so domination. And you can also have the advanced side, I think it's called mining or something, and then you get the guaranteed officer spawn, which if it's a Tobias and you get to drop the rep or something, it's 20 billion. So it goes into this direction, stuff like that. Anoms, fuck, Anoms are here. Anoms are nothing. Like if you run Ishtar rating or something, you're sitting like somewhere down here. Incursions, I should make this scale a little bit different. Incursions, there are also probably... I mean, I know that the high-sec people running like max blinked fittings with like their costology like somewhat. The reward is definitely something about like 500. I mean, they make 100 million per side, but the investment could be like anything. So we could also copy like this one. I mean, let's make it like here, and we make this one here. And this one definitely goes up to like at least 5 billion or something. Wait. Oh, this is the wrong one. So like this. So incursion can go like up 5 billion. Then we have, the same thing. It's you get out of this the incursion LP, which you can sell. There's like zero investment. There's just money in it. And depending on what you trade, I would say, and depending on how long you do it, something like this, like a billion. Like if you do that for 1 week, it's more, but it's the one part. And then on top of this, it comes. Oh wait, let's make it like this. Like, if you are a smart guy and you're good, you can invest into like this direction. And incursion ISK is usually like somewhere like here, 500 mil per hour or so for the idea. I mean, depending on how fast you do the sites, it's probably more. And if you have somebody which is an incursion expert, he is like, yeah, but you can blah, 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 if you multiblock. The thing I'm missing right now is, which we should add, is Poshwin. But I put it out because usually that's to do multi-boxers and stuff like that. But that's I would say it's the same as incursions. As more you invest, as more marauders you get in, as more billion reward you get out. Drifter farming, you do that with a super capital, and currently it is like this. There's no money in it, because the stuff you get out of it is currently like 1 million in Jita. Doesn't make any sense. Diamond Hauler, you can crap them, but they usually also like crap, and it's also something like here. You can do that in a Hackade or something like that. Doesn't matter. So we should add definitely tip. What for? We take just this picture here, and then this one, and we add Poshwin to it. Poshwin, however they call it. IP Poshwin, who cares? And then I would say, like, they're doing it in Marauders. If you come in a single Marauder, I mean, you also need to deduct it to like 5, 6, 7 people. Come, let's be positive and put it like here, and getting people into Poshwin for this idea. And let me check what else we have for. Oh, crab beacons. Yeah, of course, crab beacons v2. AT prices, Explo, Loot Goblin, Gate Camps, Trucks, Investment, no. C5, C6 rating, that's good. VA gas, yeah, we can also add that. Explo we do later, and VH stuff in general. So, C5, C6 rating. Ho, guys. This is, you need a Marauder, you need a Dreadnought. So we already like minimum 5 bill. Let's say we are like somewhere here, and you get out of these sites probably something like 2 billion or so. So I would add them here, like on my suggestion. And you also need to have a C5 for that, of course. And crab beacons, they usually drop like 500 mil, and you do them in a super. So let's say this is crab super. And if you do the same thing in a thread, then you probably something around in this area. And it's also like, it's 500 million. Of course, yeah. Faction Warfare, you can run fights. We had Faction Warfare somewhere. Wait, I had that. There. Haha. So Faction Warfare, I would also say this one is the same thing as this one. Chip. So you can have this one here, and then it is like, I mean, you can go up in your pricing and do bigger stuff. Let's do it like this. I mean, depending on how ridiculous you do that, there is like ways to grow in it, but you don't get like 4 billion in a single site. That doesn't matter. But if you do a lot of faction warfare stuff or these missions and everything, what's going on there, you could do more and you can also raise in the investment. But this is like, that's PvP content that should be in the PvP thread later as well. I had the crab super, drifter farming with a super, crab thread, which is like maybe somewhere also here, 5 bill, 10 bill, somewhere in their area. And then we put this one here in. It's like 500 million what you get out of one site. So you do like 3 sites per day. If you're lucky, you get an officer in that. And then again, if you get an officer, you're already in the area of like this here. The same for this one. You could get like 50 billion reward. You don't have that here. And this one, for example, is the same. If you get like a nice spawn out of it, you could get like, what means like 2 or 3 billion or something. So from the idea of that. I had PvP and active. I think I would say the next what we do is active. I'm sure I'm missing something here, what you can do in the PvE area. And usually there are steps in it. So you can do the smart bomb rating, upgrade to Thunder Childs or Praxises or Maharials. Then you can upgrade your DED side runner from a Tengu to a Widow to a Marshal, for example. And if you have a Marshal, then you're already like in the 10 bill area again. So there are many options how you step up in the ladder and everything, depending on how you do that. Poshwin, you need to go into this area, you need to have a station, stuff like that. C5, officer farm, you do it in a Mahariel or in a Vago or something, and you need belts. There are also people sitting in curse which spinning 24/7 one, how to call it, like one Vexor in the desolated asteroid belt, which spawns asteroids NPCs, and then they kill them, and once they have, the thing dies, on set kill, then we can see if there was an officer. So they sometimes get an officer, which then they need to have a ship. Usually they use a widow or something, drop on top of the Vexor which dies, and farm the officer. So this is easy. And yeah, this is PvE. Let's grab active. Let's do active. Grab this PvE stuff and put that down. And we go for active. So active is everything which you can do like station trading or something. And now we check in. So this is definitely the EVE partner what we want to have. VH gas is it. Howling and GF service. All the stuff about investments. More VH stuff. Of course, scamming and freelancers. Your mining infrastructure as a service. Oh, AT prices. Oh, this is special. This is PvP. This is PvP. I would also say this is active. Explo is active. Trucks is kind of active. I already said that this is with the market. This is also PvP. Oh god, let's try to sort that. EVE partner. That's easy. There is like 0 investment. Depends on your content. You got any recommendation for a 10-man multi-box group? Yeah, smart bomb rating on the first hand. And then you do PI and then other stuff. Well, let's see how we can do that later in the Q&A. I write that down. So we have the EVE partner. JF service depends on which kind of group you have. Let's just copy the good stuff from here. No, I just want this ones. Is it this ones? Let's see. Oh, nice. Let's say 50 billion, 5 billion, and we make a little bit more room like this one here, because most stuff will be on the bottom. So JF service usually is going like this, and then we say like, okay, 500 we do here. Let's say there is like 1 billion here. And in the back here we do unlimited, which we also do here, a little bit on the bottom. because now stuff gets crazy. So JF service, you need in JF, which is like 10 billion. And depending on what kind of run you do, it's back in the days, I was always trying to give like 100 million into my pocket if I do the JF service and stuff like that. If you have multiple GFs, then it's like 100 million for each of them, which is nice. Hauling, of course, is the same direction, but it's a little bit lower. It's usually somewhere here because you do the low hauling. All of these equations have like, if you do a JF service and you haul 20 billion in HiSec, this one is much more expensive, also for sure. So we could also go here again and wait, just copy this one. So this one is like also going like this, and the same goes for this one, because if somebody wants to have like neuro cells transported to HiSec and your JF is like full with like 20 billion or something, people want to gank it, and then and you do it in one run, blah blah blah. Well, let's do the stuff like so. Gas for gas is somewhere down here. A wormhole gas is probably somewhere here. There. Why is it there? Gas sites and wormhole, if you don't do ninja huffing means you try to get as much gas out of it in 20 minutes, because then they're spawning rats, and sleeper rats are nasty, they kill you. You usually can solve this with a marauder or with a gang or something, but it's somewhere here in this section, however you do that. Prismatic and R64. This also depends on how much stuff you have. Usually, if you do it in a Hulk with support and everything, somewhere here. I mean, I'm not mining that much, so I'm not 100% accurate. But if you go with a multi-boxer crew, for example, and you do Hulk mining with a porpoise and links and everything, this goes ridiculous. Prismatic should be somewhere below. I mean, it's still valuable and fun, but it should be less than an R64, just the option to get all your stuff. VH gas is then probably too high. Let's put it somewhere like here. They're like, you anywhere will point me out and kill me for anything. Scamming. Haha, scamming is a good part. Scamming is probably somewhere here. Let's make this dude a little bit smaller. And this could be everything, depending on what you scam and how you scam. If you do, on Reddit, there was somebody talking about what was it? He was doing a recruitment scam, which was like, hey, join my Discord and everything, and then doing a safety deposit and stuff like that, depending on how you do that stuff. ISK service, if I send you 1 ISK, I get 2 ISK back, and then until you send me like 20 million or something, I don't double it back. That's how I make profit. There are many other ways. It's a shady business. Scam contracts. I mean, if you want to go into this direction, I have a video up which is explaining about how you avoid scams. If you look a video about how to avoid scams, you also have a video which explain how a scam works. Stuff like that. Explo. Explo is easy because I do that. This is from below here. Also, if you go with a buzzard and you do like a 1 hour haul or something, you could have be like 500. But I also have a ship which is going like 1 billion, and it could be here. If you do a ghost site, you could be like here. So this one is the ghost site, for example. And this one is Drifter Loot, or here, Drifter, how's it called? Sleeper Cache? Sleeper Cache. And then again, this is not true, because you can also do the Sleeper Cache with kind of this ship and with this ship. And it's probably more like here. And this is gambling, because you need to have like a nice drop in the money and stuff like that. And yeah. So how to say that? And let me join up into my Dojo Ask Questions here. So, infrastructure as a service, we do it later. Seeding, manipulation, investment, doctrine stuff. Yeah, that's nice. You can seed the market in ULX with doctrine stuff. So, for example, slipeness and stuff like that. And then it's like from unlimited to unlimited. Same going with seeding. It's unlimited. And investment is the same thingy, and manipulation you can also go crazy and do it like this. So whatever you do here, it's going in every direction. And let me put that again here, this one here. Nah, you could also go like down like this. Let me connect that. So here it's connected. So you can't do anything with the stuff of kind. Manipulation would be like that you buy something in Jita and you kill the market, so there's like no Talias anymore, and then you put the Talias back on market for double the price. And depending on which kind of object you use, it takes longer or less time to recover the market. And in the meantime, you make the profit of people which actually need that chip. Investment, this is something like geckos, for example, leopards, which you can have. So, for example, I can show you that. Mika, I show you my investment stuff. Skin is the same stuff which you can do, which is ridiculous. This is the other thing. Today I done the Epic Arc in the new newbie system, and the prices are ridiculous high. So people are now that a miner 2 doesn't cost $1 million, and I'm currently selling the stuff here, and people are start buying it. So I'm selling a venture for 500 ISK. A venture costs 200 ISK. It's not much money, but you can seed markets in the new area on the Epic Arc, for example, and people will buy the stuff from you because they need anyway the stuff, and then they go. So, but what I want to show you is investment, for example. So this is my, where is it? The trade. So this is the drifter farming. It says it's 700 million. This was 3 billion. If you look at the market and the price history, whoa, it's 1 million. Fucking hell, it's nothing worth. Luckily, the stuff doesn't get bad, so I don't care. You know these from a previous event. I don't get that, so it's done. And leopards, for example, I have 20. I had way more. There's a story behind it, and they currently go for 480, and buying is 426, and they were raised up to like 500 or something because that's the last leopards in game. Why do I have so many leopards? I got shot in high-sec with a leopard, and then I said, if I cannot fly with my leopard in high-sec, nobody can. And it was ambitious because I bought all the leopards I could get. And apparently there are so many in this game, it doesn't make any sense to just buy them off, and I just give up and I'm selling them back. The other thing what you can do is skins, which is like stuff like that. You just have, it's not 5 billion. It's just like 8, but you don't get it sold for 8. So I'm considering to just donate them or make raffles for these. The same with the Astero skins. Shout out to Lord Hako from Init, which gave me some packs on FanFest. Man is a very good boy and he has very good gamble hands. I mean, you could sell them and try to get like 300 million or something. And people done this with the police skins, but I think I don't have any police skins, although I have. They were also like super nice in money, and I think there's also a hell or something you can have. Let me show. No, Manticore, Phoenix. I think the Phoenix one could be expensive. Yeah, see, if you haven't. No, wait, this is not a Phoenix skin. I got bamboozled here. People are lying. Skins. Where is it? Where is the police skin? State police. Ah, shit. This was the wrong button. So you get it for 273 plaques. And if you buy that, it's 4 billion. Doesn't matter. that's what you can do with investment stuff. The same goes with geckos. Doctrine stuff, I already told you. Seeding is the same. I'm seeding, for example, on Kane. If he is not sitting here, give me a second. If you buy a PIF X type explosive stuff, that's probably from me. And if you buy meta target painters, that's also from me. But you can seed anything you want. Wormhole Explo, that's again, there is stuff in the site which shoots you, and you probably can cheese that. I would. Let's place it here. This is okay. And VH stuff in general, as we had that in here with like the C6 stuff and everything. Where is my VH stuff there? Oops. Yeah, come, let's drop that. That's too generous. Freelancer stuff. Yeah, unlimited. It depends on what you get and what you do. There is like, let's put that somewhere like, yeah, like here. Could be anything on all the list. Doesn't matter. Infrastructure as a service. You usually, this is on Allianz level, for example, if the keeps done everything what we have here. If you run it as an alliance with taxes and stuff like that, it's probably up here, because looking at how much keeps does we have up or goons have up and how much people they have and how much taxes they do, it's something like that. Let me drink a second. Because I told we done this in 45 minutes and we need to be a little bit faster. Brave Dojo stuff. Oh, this is easy. This is 0 investment, but you get 400 mil. So for each dojo class you do and you report it, 400 mil. If you do a recording out of it and you upload it on YouTube channel, it's another 400 mil, which we pay out. So this is 0 investment and super easy. Brave stuff is like unlimited. 0 investment, unlimited. That depends on which jobs you do and how generous Jinx is and how good you do your job. Then you get like a nice little salary. And the alternative is we are also rewarding players with good stuff. And then we have trucks, which we put. Oh, this is production again. Yeah, come. This comes also here in the unlimited if you have a lot of investment and stuff. This is the active stuff which you can do. Let's put that down because guys, I was so a fan of this mirror board and now I'm starting to hating it because it's not doing my stuff as I wanted. So this is not what we want. We want this one, PvP. So PvP here, PvP big, and PvP. Of course, AT prices. Let's start with this one. This one is somewhere here. But your investment in AT prices is time, because for the training. But the reward, if you get, for example, the Python as a battleship, which was like 1 trillion per ship, then it's huge. That's why we put it like, let's put it like here in this direction and put the AT prices under it. So gate camping depends on what you do, but man, it's what you catch. I mean, people are trying to catch haulers and stuff like that. Let me get the nice underline here again. And put this a little bit like here. And this a little bit, wait. We don't want that. Keep it. So gate cap is like kind of RNG because you never know what you get. And you also can just go like how high you want. Same with the loot goblin. I mean, it could be anything if you put it like here. So we can put it like this. Wait. Connect that one here. And then it goes like here. I mean, if you good loot goblin, last time when we done was the Moloch blueprint, for example, and you get that, that's 600 billion. I mean, if you loot that and then you give it back, then you get a nice reward, but you can also just take it and run. I highly recommend it to give it us back because otherwise you would not get on the crit and die. Salvage is also something like here, I would say. This is ESS. Didn't write it down, but I can fix that for you guys. So ESS robbing, for example, what is usually 500 mil, and then depends on which kind of stuff you use. If you go with a stabber, it's easy. If you go with a wall fleet, for example, it's more expensive. This one here is, let me see, that should be a skyhook. Yeah, it's a skyhook. Skyhook robbing, easily 1 billion. If you go for the, what was it, the gas, the magma gas or something. And then it depends on which kind of setup you have. And this one is big fleet fights. I mean, here, honestly, there is no money in it. That's PvP. We have a lot of investment, but you don't get any returns beside SRP. And that's usually it's what it is. So in the PvP corner, it's super RNG depending on which kind of people come over and what kind of ships they have. And you probably ask yourself, why is there no Abyssal? That's a good point. Let's add that one here. Abyssal. Abyssal stuff. Abyssal stuff. Gamble. That's probably somewhere like here and goes like unlimited. And then of course we need to add this into the PvE chart. And I know people running very expensive Gilas. So let's say somewhere like here. And the reward somewhere like here, and it's also a little bit RNG, depending on how you do that. So let's come to the question. Now you can hammer me with questions, whatever you want to know and stuff like that. So let me see. We going hop on into the stream. Then I also have, where's Discord? Can ask questions in the Discord chat if you want to have that. So I have 10-man multi-box crew. Yeah, multi-box crew. You can do all of the PvE stuff, like a lot of them. You could run one of the Cosmosites. You can do incursions. You can do faction warfare. You can do incursions yourself. You can do Thundershide rating. You could do smart bomb rating. You probably could do crab beacons and subcaps, because you only need to have in capital to trick the sites, and then you run it with like 2 guardians and battleships. Just go beefy, and then you can kill the NPCs, no worries. They are designed for whore capitals, and if you know what your Phoenix does on damage, so like 5k or something, you can also do that with 10 ravens, for example, or like 6 ravens. 6 ravens in top fit, yeah, it's 6000 DPS. And then you add 4 logics to it and something with AB, and your ravens will never die. I mean, figure it out. Thunderchild rating also works. Drifter farming, forget about that. That's the super. This doesn't make any sense. Then on the active side, you can run an JF service, because you could multi-box 10 JFs or 8 JFs and jump around, because you only need to light a Sino and then press jumping on each of your JFs. You can do the mining, which all of them works. Hauling, I don't want to know if you want to jump with 10 deep space haulers through space and manage them. I think that's too much. Wormhole gas also works, because you just get the whole group. This section is off for you, because you only need a single toon. I mean, if you do mass investment, you have like 250 plus slots. And with 10 toons, you would have 2,500. So you could sell actually like a lot of stuff. But it just wouldn't make me happy. PvE, no. Active, passive. Yeah, of course. You could run multiple mercdans. You should use all your research slot, which I'm not using currently. You could also run for inventions because you have then 100 slots, 100 research slots. So you put something into the in our library in ULX, and then you just research blueprints, and then you sell them. Researched. You could also go for something which like doctrine ships, hurricanes, for example. You could also use your 100 slots or even more for production. Gamble, I think, no. And then you could also use on another level your 10 tunes to doing PI, which is if you only have 5 planets, 50 planets. And if you actually have 50, also 10 accounts, that's 30 chars. 30 chars with 5 planets is 150 planets. 150 planets is a lot. I mean, you will go crazy setting it up. I promise you, you will go crazy setting up 150 planets. But then you will also have a ridiculous amount of P1 or P2, depending on which kind of setup you do. On this amount, I would highly recommend to do P0 into the P2. Otherwise, it's just like ridiculous amounts you need to haul around, and you will not do anything else than hauling around. And then you have like on one of your main tunes factory planets, and then you push them through into from P2 to P4, for example. And then you still can decide if you run P2 into P3 and then push them into that. And honestly, figure something out which you like. So from time intensity, research, invention, you start that and you saw that if you do a max level, it's like 1 month, 2 months or something. So if you be on the safe side and you want to do it in like 7 days or 10 days, that's 10 days clicking with 10 tunes. And again, here it's 10 tunes, 30 tunes, 300 slots. So I'm not lying. So you have 300 research slots, which you can just run through and do your own research empire. And if you're looking for somebody which wants to do that, have fun. What can I do with 3 exhumas and a porpoise? I have been skilling. I imagine doing mining anoms, but seems like they aren't great. You want to do the AO anoms, Prismacide anoms. You want to go on the R64s and spend your stuff. I mean, mining is the crown thing of the thing. And if you people, I promise you now a forecast. If people only do smart bomb rating, if they only do this, they have a lot of ISK. But if nobody is producing and nobody is doing the mining stuff, prices are going up for the resources. If nobody is building ships, the price of the ships are going up. And you already see that on certain stuff, which is a ridiculous expensive. For example, I can show you Vigor. Vigor Compact Micro Auxiliary Power Core. It's a loot item that drops out of rating. Why the fuck it is costing 12 million? It was up to 25. And it was always like an under million. Like nothing, 1 million something. And then it spiked up to like 12 million or something. And you cannot build this item. But if there is like a shortcast of it, it doesn't matter. The same is for the IFA, Compact Damage Control. It's a meta module. Drops out of rating. It spikes, it goes down. You could tell if this is market manipulation or not. I can't tell you that. But this is the stuff, if the redders, as how they read, and they would also loot their stuff, then this price would not spike as that. And the same goes for like, let's take a Mahariel, for example, because there's a ship which is very versatile. Was 1.3 million or something, 1.4, was dropping down to 7, 8. Then there was the change with the reloading ammunition, I think. and it's still going down. So it's harmonizing the private battleships, because also a lot of people running LP for the Angels, and they turn it around for the AngelNet Resonator, this one, which you trade for LP, and you need that to build for pirate faction. And you see also there's going up and down. So buy low, sell high. And if people are only renting and creating money, then the market is not going to be seeded like very nice. I'm really looking for something I can do on demand while watching TV and staring at local, but would like to pull like at least 100 million an hour. Ooh, yeah, it's R64s probably. You had such that you have 4 accounts. If you do, I mean, you would need, if you want to look TV and with your 3 tunes, you could do, you could pay somebody which warps you around, and you just press on all your tunes the button for the smart bombs. That would work. And honestly, Incursions is too active if you want to watch something. Like, the most stuff I do is if I watch TV, it's I watch the TV show like 3 times or 4 times because I'm missing all the parts. Exploit it also not. JF service is like you do it one time and you go back and then your blue timer is full. It's not PvP. Yeah, the bombing is like you need to have a warper and then to press the button. That it's honestly like you should do mining on the moons. You should look for the prismatic sites. You should for this blue asteroids, or the AO, how they call it. Phew. And then the other stuff gets already like kind of intense on that one. So, but yeah, that's the rough fundament. We can look again into the big sheet here if we miss something. So we have moon mining, post extraction farms don't exist anymore. Factory planets, I had that. Ice mining, of course, with the Rockwell, you can do ice mining. That's the one part of Rockwell mining which didn't got nerfed, for example. With the ore, you are just a big, a big target. The ore sites, which we told, education with the classes, I told you get 400 mil. In-game events, lotteries, journalism, ISD, third-party service, podcasting. I mean, that's all content creation and stuff like that if you want to do that, but that's not actually playing the game. That's something else. And out of the game, yeah, official forums, subreddits, community Slack, terror crafting. I mean, I never had somebody got paid for terror crafting, but I could assume that there is, if you are like Milton, I think was on Reddit, done some great stuff. That could be something. Honestly, let's check wormhole. Wormhole mapping, wormhole gas sites, ratting, exploration, colonization, nomadism, shattered system. I mean, that comes all back to, again, doing the sites, mining inside there, doing gas huffing, living there. Gas sites, DD combat, hacking sites, we had that. Hacking is kind of RNG, but it's one of the very low ISK stuff. And you get a lot of them out, so you can start with a Heron or a Buzzard or something. We had that relic site, sleeper case, data site, ghost sites. I mean, the Buzzard with the Explo kit is the one which superb in that one. Sleeper case you can do in a frigate. Shout out to Fusnik with the nice guides on Brave Dojo or on the Brave YouTube channel. You can also do that with a Tango or something, max tank, and then you can do all the sites. Then we had the rating with the belt rating, which I told you, anom rating, and the escalations out of it. So the anom rating, if you do smart bombing and blasting, it goes into the escalations. You run the escalations. You can run the escalation with a Tengu, but you should run that with... where can I find the big chart? You mean this thing here? You type in Google... Eve online activities, and then you go on pictures, and then you grab one of these. whichever you want. So I click on this one, and then it's this one, and then I can give you this one, and then you get this one. There's a link. Take it. Have fun. It's on the eForums. And then you find, so we have the high-sec incursions, which have like very blinked fit. I think I'm still in the old mailing list of TFD. So HQ, for example, fitting, if you go, I show you right now, like, wait, no, Logi. So Logi fit for the Guardian, the Nestor, for example, and then we take the Elite one. This one goes for 5 billion. Well, this is a 5 billion Logi ship in high-sec because you are safe. And that's what they run. Usually you start with like a starter Logi. This is this one, which costs like 700 mil because it's already blinked out. And you make that much money that they tell you that you please reinvest that and growing into the line. And then you get an Onirus, which is Elite. And the Onirus Elite will cost you like 3 bill. And it's because of the Peace large remote armor wrapper. Because that's apparently the best one. So a little bit about high-sec incursion stuff. Low and null incursions, we usually cheese that. We already talked about this. Level 5 missions, yeah, this was the one in low sec, which is actually off the table because you need to have a group behind that. Mining missions, yeah, distribution mission, epic arcs, there's not much value in it, like just standing rating. I definitely need to do burner missions to give you more hint about that. Missioner ganking or like ganking in general is something you can do in high sec. Be careful not to gank the wrong person. Sometimes they are blue, but you don't see that. Ninja salvaging, yes, the same. If somebody does a mission and then you combat probe him out and then you go into his site and do the stuff. Suspect timers, yeah, that's again, if people come out in high sec of abyssal stuff, then it goes into the same direction. Poco Monopoly, Minor Ransom, War Deck Camping, Ninja Looting, Bumping, Suicide Ganking, Roaming, RNG, Ransoming, same, Gate Bombing, Forcing MJD, that's all PvP tactics, Station Camping, Gate Camping, Margin Trading, is doubling, Contract Scamming, yeah, Corp Alliance Theft. I mean, you don't get friends with that. I can tell you that. PvP readiness. What was my ship doing here? Okay. Auto quit mode, start the game, do your career agent mission, grind combat mission, solo quit the game out of boredom without actually seeing 5% of the shot. Ah, yeah, okay, that's bullshit. Factional warfare, mercenary contracts. Yeah, that's it. That's. I'm sure I missed stuff because I missed Abyssals from T0 to T6. And Abyssals in itself is 3 frigates, 2 destroyers, or 1 cruiser, which you can do. And I mean, if you do that with frigates, for example, it's not a 5 bill investment. It's like 150, 200 mil frigate. And then you can run T5s or something. And there are websites out there which totally explain you how you can do that. I think Abyssal guides. I think it's this one. And then you go into runs, for example. No, home. Something like that. And then they have here the Gila, Cerberus, Hawk, and Dark. And then you can go in there and then see what they drop. And there's probably also a Hawk guide. What? Not hits. Yeah, no, you go here and then you check what you want to have, and you says like you want to have an assault frigate and you want to run blah blah blah, chaotic filter results, and then you get like total cost 100 mil, 600 mil, 400 mil, 50 mil, This one is in T6 Dark Rocket version for 1.8 build. So let's look at this. And it's an avalanche. That's like how you rickroll somebody. Okay. No, wait. Safe and close. Sorry. This is it. It's in Gisti. It's Kaldavi Navy Rockets. It's in 1MN. Cap stable. Gistum B-type multispectrum. And then you need like 3 of them. And then don't die. And then you can run T5 Darks. And then as you see, wait, 1-4. So they drop in tier 6, 350 million. I put Abyssal somewhere here, so it should be somewhere here. And then on the roll slide of this one from like 50 mil to something you can make 350 mil, 600, and depending on how lucky you are. So sorry to put Abyssal in the wrong spot. I should run them more often and should do Abyssal classes because that's actually like nice stuff to learn a little bit about PvP and how stuff works. And once you are familiar with how the reds look like and everything, then you are happy. Okay. I hope you got a minimum idea of which different kind of activities you have in EVE and how much money they have. The rule of thumbs is as more you invest, as more comes out, depending on what you do. Of course, there are probably other activities you can do with a super than like doing crab beacons. You could do drive-bys and PvP and kill stuff. And yeah. And I try to split. You see, there is a lot of PvE stuff you can do. There is a lot of active stuff you can do. And I will probably sort that out a little bit more or better, that we can make screenshots out of that. The passive income, we probably also will a little bit scroll it out to give you an idea of which kind of blueprints are interesting. I mean, we are in the end time. If you want to drop off, but usually now comes the hot shit. We take the Thanatos. And there's the Thanatos. So, and for the Thanatos, we want to have the blueprint. So we look at the market, what the blueprint costs. It's 1.3, 200. I'm sure there is you can get that seeded somehow. But the interest idea, what we want to have it is, we go into finding contracts. And apparently, if you have a 7 to 10% research Thanatos, you get for a copy 22 million. Imagine you would have a fully researched one. There are also people which are selling. Let me turn that around. Like if you look at this one and you put it into the industry, you need these cap parts, for example. Capital Tron Bay. And guess what? A Capital Tron Bay needs other blueprints. So again, we can go into finding contracts. And then you see people are doing packs. So this here, for example, is a capital pack for an apostle. And what he's doing is he's researching hopefully all of them into 10, 18, 20. Yeah, 10, 50 runs, depending on. And then you get all the parts to build an apostle. So you could do with all of your stuff and set up something like this. Of course, the investment for an auto integrity is 150 million. And you need to research it, and then you need to edit. And if you think about, we have now one of these. I mean, you probably can also request from somebody to get access to that. And I'm 100% sure there's also an option to have the blueprints shared without stealing them, that you can make a copy out of it and the blueprint is going back into the corporation. But somebody which is actually super into the infrastructure game can explain more how that works. And then you just do the researching, which is like, you take this blueprint here. Also this one. Then you do view in industry, and then you go here for copy. And then you're like, how many ones do you want to have? And you're like, I need for my apostle Let's check. I need auto integrity. This is this was this one here. Wait, this one. I need 368. So what you do is this, you take this one, you have your max researched one, and you need 368. And look at this, you can only make 200. So you would already need a little bit more. How does it do? Yeah, 200. It's not enough. I mean, then again, you go back to your Excel sheet because your structure has the option that it reduces the overall load which you need for that thingy. And then you can make copies out of that, which costs you like 2 days and 8 days. And I'm not sure how much that costs because I'm right now in Jita. I would need to have another tool for that. And that's the way you go. So this is one of the passives which you can do. And then get. If you're asking yourself why I'm producing this many passive targeters, yeah, I bought too much titanium. Way too much titanium, and I need to move it. So that's all my stuff and things. And then there's also running a Mercden thingy with the last percentage in the science launch for another 20 days. And then it's finished. And that's the stuff you can do. I mean, that's expired. It doesn't make any sense. Is there anything else important? No. Shuttles I showed you. Trading I showed you. I mean, I can show you my corpses. I have 971 corpses. There is nothing you can do with them. They're just laying around. And yeah, that's the ISK class. How you make ISK and how you don't make ISK. This lottery for the Merc Dance is already run, so this is over. There's nothing you can win in this one. And yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I mean, if I miss something and it's much, give me just feedback somewhere and I will add it to that. And I will do a proper PowerPoint presentation out of it, so we don't need to do the drag and dropping, and I also can do the thingy. But I was thinking about like, let's do it on something like this in a smooth manner, how my knowledge is and everything, and try to sort it a little bit. I mean, I was sitting there and copy all the images and everything with like this little guy. I can WS. Look how he smiles. Oh, is he not sweet? No, and yeah, and put some naming under it just to give you a rough idea. I mean, if you are a beginner in this game and you see this, you are overwhelmed because it's way too much. Like way, 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 way too much. Yeah, the ESS. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I would consider this as PvE, PvP, for example, for the ESS main banks. This is a good point. I can show you them. Usually, I would not wait. This was a key, I think. Oh, they call key, and then they were not here. They are in finance contracts, and then it's fixing key, and then it is there. So you want in ESS Northwest 45 reserve key. You click at this, and then it costs like 740 million. And usually what you get out of this, I'm not sure. Usually they sell them for the same price. If you want to do the Aegis sites, you need to have a Marauder and how's it called? And blah 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 blah. And scanner. So like 2 tunes. Yep, wonderful. Start that. And there's a PvP magnet. Like there's like a region-wide alarming going off, and usually when you do these sites, for example, that's a very good point. I want to have this one and this one, and then we go here. You do them for PvP, and then I give me the icon. Right, is this the icon? Yeah, perfect. And then we can just add that here, make it smaller. And then it's like what you get out of it, like 1 billion or something. And the investment is also going up, how much PvP you want to do. Cool. That's it. Have fun. Good luck out there. You can rewatch that if you want to have something. Otherwise, go to Brave Dojo and ask your questions there. And then we will help you out. If you need help and to find more people for group activities, no worries. Try to ping it or make your own SIG, which we had talked about in Brave Space Jobs. And then we do that. Nice, nice, nice.